and going to the advanced market training, and what Symmetry offers us, right? And I said that to Addie. I said, I didn't know if you were going to make it on tonight, but like you guys talking about what you got from that, right? Like I went in December. Symmetry, I want to start with this. And we're a smaller crowd today, but one of the things that I'm going to be talking about more so on a regular basis is how important this is that we're doing this. If you were in accountability with me the end of, I think it was last Thursday, and I said we have almost, when I talked to Kate, there's almost 6,000 agents that are registered with Inside Symmetry, almost 6,000. An average of, what do we talk about, the 10%? The average of 500 people get into accountability each morning. That's less than 10% of the overall piece of all of Symmetry that are doing it. So, but Symmetry gives us everything that we need. We talk about it. You guys have heard me say it about franchise on a regular basis. And that's why I told Brian, I said, what we have access to. We don't really think about it or understand it or realize what we have access to when we are part of Symmetry Financial Group. So I wanted to kind of lay it out a little bit about how I see it. And then from there, I want Addie and Chris to really both share about what they just went to and what they were given. And I think it's usually like 150 or something. In this last one, they were giving it away. The advanced market was free. You had to get there, right? You had to stay there, but it was free for them to be able to give it to you. But I want to back up for a moment and think about for a moment about Small Business Association. You go out, when we say that this business is rough, about the businesses that make it, the people that make it because it's rough, it's not just this business. It is owning a business, period, that you have to have a constitution to be able to say, even when it's a rough day, even when it's difficult, I keep working and I keep building. Those are the people that continue to make it here. Those are the people that are on the screen. It's the same thing I said on accountability. It's the people that are showing up and being engaged. It's the people like Addie and Chris just went to advanced market. It's the people that are going to engage and in being there in Denver and being a part of one of the things that I got from Marshall. And this is so true. It's back to the engagement piece to be able to get to what we have to offer is one of the things, and it's cliche, but it's so true. It's getting close to the fire. It's being in the accountability. It's being on this meeting. It's being on the national call. It's being at Engage. It's doing the things and being part of it. Imagine that you had a job, but you didn't go to the job each day. They're not there. You're not going to know what you need to do. You're not going to be engaged, and you're not going to know how to be able to run your business. But Symmetry gives us everything. And I wanted to start to list some of those things. And then I'm going to give it to, like I said, Chris and Addie, and then we're going to come back to it. But think about it for a moment. You guys, like I said, hear me talk about the franchise piece on a regular basis. If you went to go get a franchise, what's the first thing you're going to do? Hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be able to get the name. Then they're going to require you to have a location, and you have to have inventory, and you have to have utilities, and you have to have employees, and you have to have, the list goes on of what you need to be able to get that business off the ground. You have one expense here outside of your time and working and consistency, and that's marketing. Otherwise, Symmetry gives us literally every single thing we need. We win technology awards on a regular basis. We were number 9 on the Forbes list as being the best paying jobs that are available out there. If you get in, they just built us websites. So I want to be able to, we're going to get into the way to HQ just a little bit. All your connections. See, where I've come up with this too, along with talking to Addie, is I say it every day. Addie and Jerry hear me say it ad nauseum when I'm doing a group interview and telling everybody about who we are and what we do. And I'm telling them, and as I'm going through it, it's been clicking in my head about this company and what we have the opportunity to be able to be part of. That we're here. You go and you work for another carrier. Let's just use, I'm not even going to use names, but most of them have one final expense. They have one term life. They have one IUL. Here we have all these carriers, all this advanced market. They hear me talk about it in the overview saying, we're a full service agency. You're not just, what do we think about when we think about life insurance? We think about burial insurance. We think about a casket. That's what, when I think about a life insurance agent, I did. But we're not that. We are full service. We're getting people out of debt. We're doing annuities. We're doing 401k rollovers. We're doing term life with living benefits. We have all of this. And guess what? It also makes us better. For some of you guys that are just getting to know me, and you've heard me say it before, I was not a speaker. I would not speak in front of more than maybe 3 or 4 people. Symmetry makes you a better person. Symmetry happens to sell insurance, but they are a motivational, inspirational company that happens to sell insurance. So if you don't become better by being part of this company, that's on you. Because if you engage and you're part of it, you're just going to become a better person overall continuing on. I want to dig into it a little bit more, but I really want to go to Chris and Addie because they were just at one of the events that I'm talking about. They don't just come here. I hear this all of the time in interviews, group interviews. I don't get the support that I need. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not getting the training that I need. I don't get what I need. That is not the case here. And I am going to ask everybody in here right now. You're already here, so it's hard for me to ask you that. But let's reach out to our partners. Let's reach out to our friends that are part of this and make sure we're showing up for these meetings so that the content that we're doing, we can invite more guests to be able to bring them in so that we can really build this up. And by the way, we're in the middle of a competition against the, what did we call them? The American Dreamers. And Chris, I don't know if you heard our new name. It's Miss Linda Scott that came up with it. We are the National Dream Crushers. So we are, and when I told Stella, she's like, Sean, you're talking about crushing dreams. I'm like, only the Stella Dinwiddie group are the only ones we want to crush right now. That's it. So anyway, Chris, I'm going to start with you and Addie. I'm going to give it to you two to talk about your experience, what you two thought about, again, what Symmetry is giving to us to be able to make us better if you want to focus on advanced markets.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. I'll probably have more to share next week because I'm still digesting. We had so many, 3 days worth of information. I'm literally, in fact, I just got an email here about an hour ago to download the slides from the event. So downloaded the slides. I'm going to be popping those open, going through those this week. Got a lot of trainings. I've got a lot of recordings to go back and listen to. I've got software, so I'm going to be kind of burning the candle at both ends here. But no, I think, my big takeaway, and like I said, I seriously will be getting into some more of this, and I'll talk with you about this, Sean. We we are leaving so much money on the table, it's not even funny. Myself, I'm pointing, again, the old saying, if one finger points at you, three are pointing back at me. So I'm going to take ownership of that. We've talked about it, but we haven't put specifics behind it. We haven't put action behind it. We haven't given you all hard tools to make that a reality. And that's going to change because I want each and every one of you on this screen to be tapping into what's available in our system every week. Like you literally, there's no reason why, Marisa can't have 5, 10 apps a week. Linda, 8, 11 apps a week. Maria, Jerry, like I go through naming it, Joshua, Eli, Janelle, like Sean, you've got so many apps that you haven't even realized are sitting there just begging you to write them yet. That and that's good news. Good news. That's not a negative. It's just, hey, we 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 haven't cracked open what's actually available to us. And honestly, I've made it a lot harder than it needs to be. There are way simpler processes, just opening up the conversation. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to put the tools in your hands to make that a reality, make that happen. We heard from it probably and everybody was great. Don't get me wrong, but one of the ones that speakers that had the most impact on me, Ike Manello, who is a debt-free life, a monster writer. But guys, he's like, I haven't bought leads in 3 years. He said, I don't remember, guys. I don't even remember the last time I bought a lead. Like, I just don't buy leads anymore. Like, I don't need to. And, my big takeaway from him is, the way he effectively connects with people that he's around every day. Because the one thing that I have recognized properly is that all of us, every one of us, have a natural market in debt-free life. We have people around us who are in debt. And again, it's not bad debt. I think that's where I think our brain sometimes automatically defaults to be like, I can't talk to that person because they're doing good. Yeah, they probably got mortgages, they probably got car loans, but they're making a lot of money. They're fine. That's not what debt-free life is about. And yeah, we've got to expand the conversation, not just on that. Again, great speakers on how to naturally open up the 401k rollover conversion conversation. The tools that we have available with IUL for the tax advantage retirement. The software that they have created that is just absolutely it's insane in a good way. What you can do with that software to absolutely, with any of those three programs I mentioned, destroy somebody's belief and trust in a 401k, destroy somebody's belief and trust in a bank, destroy somebody's belief and trust in anything that they've been told about market investing. We have the tools to do that in the right way and make people feel good about what we can do for them. So, Addie, I'll shut up and let you chime in.
Yeah, I think Chris has said it all, but um, I was totally blown away with the level of discussion of, to your point, Chris, IULs and all the things you can do or, explain to people what's available to them. And, for those of us who sell child policies, Quantum went through examples of what you can do with an IUL with children up to the age of, I think it started like very early. I've been selling child policies with Mutual Omaha, but with Quantum, they're likely to make a whole lot more money. So I'm going to look at changing that all around. Um, and it was just being there in the room with the people who are doing the things as far as educating their clients with the options that are available. For people with 401ks, Ike Manello went through a scenario of how he sits down and talk with the client and asks them, where's your money? Is it in the bank? How much interest is it drawing or making you? And so to Chris' point, destroy the bank idea, destroy the 401k idea. Those people who think they've got, and some of them got lots of money in 401k, but they just don't know that there's something else available that could be increasing their retirement money a lot faster with a lot more growth. Um, so I mean, everything was just mind blowing. Um, and it's amazing that we've got these tools. And like Chris said, there's Rocket, what is it, Chris? Rocket, Agency Rocket
Rocket
or
Agency,
something.
Agency Rocket. Yeah.
So that's something that they went through showing us how to download the client in there, and you can see the growth if you're talking to somebody about, you know, how their money can work for them, grow or whatever. It was just mind blowing for me. I mean, um, not over, it wasn't over complicated. It was just these are tools that are available to us. And the more you know, the more you can start using. So, yeah, I'm ready to do something different.
It, that's great, Addie. I mean, it it goes back to what I'm saying. Like Addie, Chris, you were talking about, like the 401ks and how to be able to talk to people. Addie's talking about children policies and being able to help, and the F&G, which is an amazing product, the Path Setter, in us focusing on those things more often. I think you like during our meeting on Mondays, I think we have a topic, and then I think we work and dig into part of that, the other half, or we set it another time during the week to be able to work on how do we get everybody engaged in this particular piece, talking about the questions that we need to be asking. Well, Chris, you just said you found a simpler way. I mean, like, what is that simpler way? What do we need to be doing? And I know this Agency Rocket, I noticed it, but see, that's different than what it was in December. It wasn't Agency Rocket back then. They've changed to that. Again, Symmetry, constantly, constantly trying to make us better and give us the tools. It's not just about making the sale, it is about advocating, educating with humility. And that's what Symmetry gives us to be able to build and move forward. I want to talk about all of the different connections inside Symmetry, inside your HQ. And that changes on a regular basis. I want to come back to what Chris was saying and come back to what Addie was saying. But inside the platform, going back to what we have access to, what is available to us to be able to help people. Everywhere from the final expense, the mortgage protection, being able to help children, being able to do the advanced markets. In here, Maria's even put in here that she has 2 meetings. In the chat, start sharing right now. We've normally been sharing about what you've done last week to be able to share what you've done, but what clients are we talking about right now that you're able to share with? And we need to be able to be sharing those stories. And why is that? It's just like us when we have questions and we're doing a risk assessment. Something that you're asking is going to help. Something Jerry's asking is helping Josh, and something Linda's helping is helping Marisa. So it's us talking about the wins that we have or the appointments that we have coming up. I think we really need to be talking about it. Start putting them in GroupMe. Start making GroupMe an active place of I'm working on this and being able to ask questions. Because if you're getting out and working on, like, for example, Maria has got those 2 appointments, those are advanced markets. If we can share what it is that we have done, then that's going to help somebody else as well. But connecting inside HQ and everything that, now, listen, I've been thinking a lot about this. My brain, as Brian will say to me, please slow it down, because I start, going. And this is not to say you go out and start trying to learn all of these products. I am absolutely not saying that at all. We're going to help you through. That's one of the things that I've seen actually kill somebody, because they start focusing on learning all the products. That's not the case. You get the client, you figure out what it is that they need, or get the information for the FIF, and we're going to help you figure out the product till you can do it on your own with Navigator and with SFG quotes in being able to do that. Then we go to the product. If you stay here, Chris, do you know every single product inside Symmetry? 10 years, going on 11 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? 5 years, over 5 years now. It's impossible. You could never know everything we have access to. It is impossible. James and I are working with an annuity non-contributing IRA for my sister, right? That's Marisa working on it. We have access to so much to be able to build an agency. Let me back up from that about the way my mind's been working. Business cards. If you don't already have business cards, talk to Brian. He'll help you design and he'll help you be able to order them to be able to get out and go out and start letting the world be Paul Revere, guys. Start telling the world what you have access to here. We can change people's lives. The thing I keep saying anymore, we are not here to sell things. We are here to advocate for a client, and then we're here to educate that client and then be able to help them and change their lives. You hear me in the group interviews over and over. The Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, Walt Disney have been doing it for over 100 years, and Bank of America has $24 billion in these types of policies to keep themselves profitable, where they are putting a life insurance. Now listen to this. They're putting a life insurance policy on Chris, and then they're loaning me money off Chris's life insurance policy. What are we doing? We're going to educate them and teach them how to be able to do that same thing for themselves is what we're doing. The difference is today it's not kept. This is the 1%er stuff we're talking about. This is the stuff the 1%ers have been doing for well over 100 years that now we're able to take and just help individual families make the profit. That's the best way to get it across instead of the banks making the profit. We're making that now for these families individually. Chris, do you want to follow up on that at all? I will say being brand new, it was and is encouraging when I see this in GroupMe, especially seeing people submit new business. Yes, Josh, good call. And that's right. We were doing that, and we're not doing enough of that right now. At fault. We need to do it. We need to bring that to life for all of us, where we're in the... Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something, and she's not even in the sales side. Can anybody say to me, who's the number one person on a regular basis inside our GroupMe?
Ash.
Yes, 100%. That's Ash. She's in there. She's always in there and celebrating us and working on it. I come in, I don't do it as much as I should. Chris gets in, but Ash is always in there celebrating us. We need to do a better job of celebrating. Now, it's not just about us, guys. Let's say we're bringing on new people ourselves individually, and you're bringing on people. The thing that we need to get across with all the things that were offered, right, including accountability that Jim Larson put in place for us. He didn't have to do that. He created that. That's Jim, as he calls his sandbox. But it's us. It's up to us to be able to get in there and be a part of it. But when we're doing it, I will hear, but I really don't need that. You really do, number one. And number two, we're not just doing it for you. What if you start bringing people on? All you got to do is plug them in. Plug them into the accountability. Plug them into the HQ. Plug them in to everything that we have here to be able to make them successful at the same time. That's the way this system is built. Is being able to be engaged to be able to be successful and be able to move forward. Thank you for saying that, Josh. And then, Linda's got acrylic card holders that she's putting in and taking and allowing at restaurants. This is us building our business, but the thing is, we've talked about building it. We've talked about the things that we need to be doing, but the thing that we don't talk about enough is everything that we have here. If you want to talk about the grass being greener, don't talk to me, because I'm going to tell you something. There's no better place. And I mean, I really believe it. I'm not just saying it because I'm a part of this. This place, you've got everything. Chris, I want you to kind of pop in here with me on what I'm saying, but here's the thing I want to say. You will hear me say this over and over. If you can't make it as a business owner here, forget about owning a business. This is it. Only marketing. You've got everything else given to you. I hear it all the time when I'm doing group interviews now. Well, how much does this cost? Or, and then the other thing that I say, the last thing I want to say here for a minute before Chris is, okay, one of the things in the group interview, Eddie and Jerry have heard me say it now. If you want, well, is there a base pay? Okay. For a base pay on that same $2,000 illustration that I said you're going to get $1,600 on average, if you're working there as a base pay, you're getting $40 on that sale. I've been talking to different people that are out there. So you're getting $40 versus $1,600. There's a reason for it. You're bringing the people, you're bringing the clients to them. So now we're going to give you $1,600. Whether that's buying a lead from Symmetry or that's going out and figuring out a way to be able to bring the people to Mutual of Omaha or America. Now you want to go work for them, they're going to pay you, and then they're going to pay you the $40. It's up to us to be able to help the client and bring that to them. Sorry, Chris. Wanted to kind of get you in on this part of it.
Yeah. To your point, and we've touched on this before, but I don't think we give enough service to this, and that is the fact that we are our proprietary products. We have products that literally nobody else has access to. Quantum was developed by Quility with Fidelity and Guarantee. Nobody else has Quantum. Quantum is us. Our partnership with Advisors Excel, our annuity house. Guys, you want to be running your annuities through resets because that's going to give you access to products that nobody else has access to. And it's only through Advisors Excel because Advisors Excel is the largest brokerage house wholesaler in the United States. Because of that, the companies develop products for Advisors Excel no one else has access to. And that's critical for two reasons. One, if you're in a competitive situation, where where there's a possibility, and there will be, that client, I mean, they're talking about their life savings or retirement. They're probably going to be talking to other people. And if you're trying to push the same products that everybody else has access to, guess what? Then it becomes a popularity contest. How about winning the popularity contest and having products that nobody else can touch with rates that nobody else can deliver with benefits that nobody else has access to? Like, you've got the market cornered in ways that you do not understand. And I didn't understand, but frankly, again, I knew we had a really good deal going, but the level of a good deal that we have going is phenomenal. And the tools that we have available, the products that we have available, in what our company is doing to set that up, to put us in a position where, again, nobody else has access to the things that we have access to. You being able to go in and help a client and know that you're doing right by them. And really that's what the reset program is really designed to do, and that's why we go take our time. Sean, you've been to it. Addie and I went to it this weekend. I mean, we had some investment. We had not just investment in time, but we spent our own money to get there, stay there, training materials, software. But we do that so that you don't have to, so you here can focus on the fast money, the high profitability, things that are going to get you paid today so you can work on tomorrow's money with resets, because they are more complex. They do take a little bit longer time. But we're going to show you how to get that pipeline started, because when you get that pipeline built, you start adding tomorrow money to today money, and no one will have any money problems ever again. So.
Well, and if you guys really start paying attention to, you're constantly seeing about people's retirements that, and you guys have heard me, Addie, Jerry, you've heard me say, this is not your grandfather's insurance anymore. This is totally different ballgame. But you're seeing constantly now about where people are struggling with their retirement. That's where we come in. People are looking at it and saying, "Well, what am I going to do when I get to this particular age, when I get to retirement?" Well, again, that's where we come in, and you don't get more secure than what we have available. What is it, Chris? It's uh trying to think here for a moment. So, in 100 years, on a par whole life, trying to remember exactly, in 100 years in a par whole life, only one time from one carrier did that not pay out, and that was during the Great Depression. So that
Dividends, specifically dividends. They still made their rate of return on the cash value. They just didn't get a dividend.
They just didn't get the dividend part of it. Exactly. And that's on, when we talk about debt-free life, that's the type of policy that we're structuring and building those on. So that's why you're able to structure and build them on a debt-free life, because it's not fluctuating. You know what you're going to get. This is the amount, and this is, what you're going to be getting back. You can never say guaranteed, but it's the closest thing that you can get to that, to be able. But my whole goal today in today's meeting was to try to be able to focus on people understanding what it really is that we have here. It's hitting me. It's really hitting me recently. And I think with, Brian and I, in owning businesses before in the past, Jerry, you've owned a business. The overhead, we're working here we're able to work from home. We're able to work from anywhere. But what symmetry? And then the thing is, so here's my next piece to this. Where do they roll out 99% of the new things that are coming out for the year, and you being part of that? Where do they do that? They do that at Engage. They do that at our conference in Denver each year. All of the new things that are rolling out. When we first came out with Funnel, when we first came out with that was at conference. When it came out with being able to anything new, whether it be like Funnel or any new products that are coming out, they roll those out at conference. It will change the whole dynamic back to being around the fire. If you are going, not if you haven't already got your ticket, it's time to get your ticket. Let's do it. I'm going to pick on somebody for a moment, and I don't know if you can even speak for a moment, sir, when I call on you here, but I really want to call on you for a minute, and I'll explain to everybody here why. Josh, it's you. So, Josh, when we interviewed, Josh, you remind me, I think we were probably about a week or 8 days maybe when we were going to talk again. The reason I'm calling you, Josh, is because of what I believe we have and what we're doing. And Josh made the decision. You interviewed. How many other places did you interview with before you made your final decision to be here?
I actually interviewed. It was kind of a speed interview process for me, but I did in-depth research at the same time. I did about 7 separate interviews.
Oh, he's breaking up on us. Oh, you're breaking up on us, my friend. Unfortunately.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're back now.
All right, let me. Okay,
I know. Yep, we can.
Sorry, I'm in a bad spot. I said I did pretty much like a speed interview process and did some in-depth research on some companies, and I went through roughly around 16 companies. And symmetry, was actually, you kind of hit it right on the head when it came to the motivation factor and the equipment factor that symmetry has. It allows you to be able to have that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Josh. I mean, I The reason that I'm bringing it up, again, going back to what it is that we have, again, back to the platform, to HQ. Eli, you and I, we didn't get a chance to go get together today, but just using Eli's one of the newest people coming in here right now, guys, right? So it's getting into that platform and understanding what it is that is available and talking about everything that Symmetry, right down to a website that you become your own ethos to be able to. So why am I bringing up all of this? Number one, it's time to absolutely dig in. It's time to dig in. It's time to really, all of us, including myself, business hours in the Mac room, getting in there whenever you can. If I'm not on another Zoom call, need to be in. We need to be showing up not only for ourselves, but the other people that we're bringing in as well. And we have everything we need to be able to make it happen. The only thing that we need to do more of is we need to be doing more of the activity. We need to be doing more of the consistency on a regular basis and really digging into that and using everything that they've given us. You guys have heard me say before, if it's a McDonald's and you go and you spend a couple $1 million getting a McDonald's, do you expect that McDonald's to be successful? Do you expect for it to work? You do. You know it's going to work. There's no question in your mind. It's McDonald's. Symmetry, I can show you all kinds of people that are absolutely 100% winning and making large amounts of money here on a regular basis. What's the secret sauce? It's the things that I'm looking at over in the right here that are in the chat, that are in that we're looking at. It's going out and getting in. Maria's got appointments. Linda's getting placards done. Marisa's getting things done. We all are, right? But we just need to continue to do more of it. It needs to be full on gas right now. Listen, we've got the whole thing going on with Stella. We've got to beat Stella, right? We absolutely 100% need to beat Stella. We haven't come up with what we're going to do when we get to Denver, but we're going to do it. So the thing is we need to dig in and use all the pieces to the puzzle that they have given us. Everything that's in there, we need to get in and start really using them on the regular basis. Use the Mac room, use the accountability, use everything that we've been given to be able to build our agencies. I wanted to, like I said, next week, what I would like to do in the meeting is, Chris, I'd like to go in and start. You said that you've got a whole new, process as far as trying to make that easier. Let's take part of our team meeting and really dig into that and start giving some real actionable things that we can be doing in that advanced market piece for people. And the other piece because I want you to add to that, is that here's a question, and I want to really address this, Chris. I want your assistance with this as well. If you are working on advanced market, but you're working on a mortgage protection, get the mortgage protection done first. Don't do that in place of. If you have a mortgage protection client and you're on the phone with them, get them protected. That can be incorporated into whatever else that is that we're doing. If we're doing an annuity or we're doing if that is your goal and that's what you're calling for, that needs to be your focus. Get that done, get the customer protected and taken care of. Then roll into, by the way, we are a full service agency. Here are the things that we do here, and then roll into getting it into a reset. Chris, I just wanted to, what do you think about next week getting into us doing some actionable things and really digging into that next Monday?
Yeah, definitely tune in next week because it is going to be what can you do to connect with the people that you're already talking to and uncover these opportunities. And it's a lot simpler than you think it is. And we all have overcomplicated it, including myself.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. The next thing that I want to really kind of dig into, and we've talked about it each week, but I want to talk about it again. I just want to, for example, here on the 3rd of September, we are having a corporate overview, and we're doing it at our arts and Hub Innovation Center here in Batesville, Indiana. Chris is going to be here. I believe Addie's coming. Scott Mank, Marshall Wayland. I'm bringing it up because we had mentioned it before. Brian had mentioned it. If you have one going on, if we can pull it together, we're going to come and try to help you with that as well. Okay. But the library or something like that is usually free. Now, that's not just to be able to recruit. You can be doing debt-free life overviews there. You can be talking about as simple as mortgage protection and training for people to be able to protect their homes and be able to have living benefits. Put something up, pin it on the library board, and let them know that you're going to be doing it on this particular date. If we have to do a Zoom in where one of us can come in to be able to help you with that, we will do that. We will help get you prepared for that. But the thing is, go out and be innovative. We've already looking over here what Maria's doing. Like I said, Marisa, Linda, all of us. But we need to continue to do more things. So this week, I want every single person on here. Let's find something that we're going to do. We did it before. What are you going to do this week? What's new this week? I know we've got other things going on. What's brand new this week that we're going to do to be able to let people know what we're doing, including why don't we get together a text and be able to get it out to our contacts and start letting people know what we're doing. Tell people, stop being a secret agent man. We are not just life insurance agents, guys. We are full on advisors to be able to help them so many different things that we can help people with. Jerry, go ahead, buddy.
I just wanted to ask Chris and Addie, like, I know me and you have talked about this, Sean, but was there anything at those advanced markets that would be some kind of a loophole for someone that lived in New York who wanted to do that debt-free life, something with their mortgage, since there's so many rules that you guys might have come across?
Yes, possibly. We can talk about that. Yeah, we can talk about that with you, Jerry. There's a possibility.
He has a lot of options in New York. The problem being is, so what they're talking about, guys, for anybody that doesn't know that, the carriers, most of the carriers we have, they are in all 49 states and Puerto Rico. But New York, we have limited access in the state of New York. I think I don't know exactly all of the regulations and things like that, but we are more limited, and that's what he's talking about. So if you've got something in New York, that's what we're trying to work on. Guys, let's go into, let's see if there's anybody from today's meeting. Does anybody have any questions? I know we're a little bit early, but I wanted to really my goal was to try to get this point across. I want you to look at your HQ. I want you to think about what it is that you have access to here, and including, I think, amazing support system that we have. Plug into that. You have us to be able to help build your agencies and things like that. Does anybody have any questions about the topic for today and us kind of digging? Anybody have anything that we might be able to help you with? Nothing. All right. Well, I'm not going to continue on. I've gone through my notes. I've got through it. It is just really understanding what you have, like the topic, what you have access to here. And in us really being able to dig into, you hear me say it every single week, but I want you to really, really think about it. This is your business. And a lot of people will say to me, why, when I'm doing interviews, why did you come here? What was the reason? For me, with the entrepreneur background that I have done, I didn't want to limit. I didn't want you to limit me at 60,000. I didn't want you to limit me at 100,000. I wanted something that said that I have an unlimited that I can build here. This company and what Symmetry has done, if you really dig in and do the things that they give us, it's life-changing. That's the thing. But But with that life changing, we have to put in the work. We have to be using it as our business. That's the part. People just think about a lead and a sale. This is your business to build however you want. Start getting referrals. Get out there and start letting people know who you are, whether it be the chamber for 200 or 300 a year at a home-based business. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got. If there's no questions, we'll let everybody get a few more minutes in. Get in, dig in. I will plan on getting to see everybody that is in accountability tomorrow morning. Appreciate you all very, very much. Everybody have a great evening.